The year is 5,064 Earth years. After being abandoned due to an inhospitable environment, you are among one of the first humans sent back to the planet to regain the knowledge lost in our hasty retreat. Unknown to you, your landing spot was once known as the most haunted place on Earth. Making descent towards the ground now, I said into my helmet mic, coordinates are 50.0344 degrees N, 19.2098 degrees E, and the time is 1500 back in New Musk. The sun is just now starting to fall. I took in a deep breath and prepared my body for what was about to happen. The first man. That's what they had dubbed me back home, at least. Captain Adam Alpha. I was selected to be the first scientist to step back onto the Earth since the Blight. It was a monumental occasion. I should have felt happy, excited, filled with wonder and awe. But I only felt an immeasurable sense of dread. Stepping out of the pod now, I climbed down into the gray, ashy ground and looked around. It looks a lot like a war zone here. I pulled a small tablet out of my pocket and held it up to the sky. 5.5 degrees Celsius with wind speed at 10 knots. The air is still reading a lethal dose of radiation. I began walking around the flat and barren ground when I felt my heart sink deep into my chest. "Captain, is there anything wrong?" called ground control. "Your blood pressure and heart rate just spiked." "I'm fine. I guess it's just a little strange to be on Earth. Be careful out there. Come back to the ship if you start getting a funny feeling. Your suit may not be able to withstand the conditions there." Understood. I knew it wasn't the air, but something I couldn't explain. It was a feeling that penetrated all of our technology and poisoned my core. It felt like it was poisoning my soul. "Help me!" I heard a voice call out. Spinning around to look behind me, I couldn't see anyone. It wasn't possible that there was anyone. I held my tablet up and tried checking for signs of life, but there was hardly a microorganism left in this place. "Help me. Ground control, are you getting this? We're getting a slight disturbance, but nothing other than fuzz. Why?" "Nothing. I thought I heard someone," I said, rubbing the front glass of my helmet. Ground control tried speaking to me, but the words weren't coming through. "Ground control," I said. "Ground control?" Darn. I knew I needed to go back to my pod and try to re-establish contact, but something was pulling me to walk further into the smog. "Help us! Help us!" The words repeated, getting louder and louder. Voices joined the chant with each step that I took. Beads of sweat washed down my face and into my eyes. I could feel the water running down my face, but not on my forehead. That's when it hit me. I was weeping. I didn't know for who or what, but my heart has never felt such a strong sense of sadness since that day. I made my way to a spot in which the voice no longer whispered, but instead cried out in a collective moment. One loud scream that deafened me for a brief moment, and then silence. A distinct burning smell hit my nose. It wasn't like the clean burning fires that I had smelt at countless rocket launches, but a foul odor that seemed to smell like flesh in a way. I instinctively tried to cover my nose but was stopped by the thin layer of glass that protected me from the outside. "What happened here?" I said, kneeling down to the ground. I placed my hand to the cold earth, and I was met with a terrible sight. All around me I saw naked people burning in flames, surrounded by black, faceless figures. The fires seemed to burn like those of hell itself, as many cried out for their mothers, for their God. I too began to cry out, feeling the heat of the hate wash over my body. It was the most intense feeling I had ever felt. I could feel my very soul being ripped apart by something stronger than myself. At some point after that, I blacked out. The next thing I can remember, I was already back in my pod heading towards my main vessel. Somehow, I must have made my way back to safety, unlike those people who were burned alive. I never shared this story with any scientist. I know they'd only chalk it up to radiation poisoning, but I know the only force poisoning me that day was evil, and I'll never go back there again. Back there.